It's the Ron and Fez Show, and the fastest hour in radio. The new Real World Philly kids, they've gotten a gig. They're now working for John Bon Jovi's arena football team.
Wow, that's the most exciting thing, to work for John Bon Jovi. Wait, this isn't 1985. I'm sure it means nothing to these children. I'm sure this would be like me getting a gig playing, with Perry Como. It would mean nothing at all.
I have the feeling these kids were told they're going to work for a football team, and they thought it was the Eagles, and then someone had to break the news to them that it's the Philly Soul.
Well, here's what's happening. They are actually playing against his football team, the Philly Soul, and they're already up 13-0. So this is exciting.
Well, they will get to hit a lot of fascinating cities. They'll probably travel to Iowa, for the Barnstormers games, and around the league like that. Arizona Rattlers.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. The exciting world of arena football. Nothing like it.
Cameron Diaz has an extra bodyguard on the set of her latest movie, In Her Shoes.
Isn't that our program director?
Oh, no, ours is Cameron Gray.
Oh, and this is?
Cameron Diaz.
Wow, very close. Cameron Diaz.
Her movie, In Her Shoes, one of the crew members has been stealing her underwear, so she had to get a new bodyguard.
Yeah, well, stealing or throwing out because they're bad. That's the thing. You don't know the reason these aren't showing up. So they have to hire a bodyguard to stand there because they got a panty sniffer somewhere on the lot.
I can understand hiring extra security, but to hire a bodyguard, wouldn't that mean they're actually stealing the panties off of her? That he has to stand there along with her, or they could just drop off and someone runs by?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's the panties bodyguard or a panty guard, which a panty guard is even something else completely. She's hired a panty guard. Oh, what's wrong?
She really ought to have her agent just put that in the deal. All right, please. No one steals my underpants while I'm working on a movie.
She literally had a panty guard, but it didn't work out, so she had to discharge him. It's just sad when you think about it.
She's having a lot of problems.
If I was her, I'd get my PR agent to keep this out of the news. I'd go, whatever happens, let's not bring it up. I'd rather the guy kept stealing it than have to explain to everybody.
Where is her drawers hanging around that they're accessible? I mean, people should be able to get into her dressing room.
Well, it's a trailer. It's not like it's very difficult to get on with. But obviously, this is someone who's close to her in the crew. It's somebody. Or maybe she's just such a diva, she can't find one pair of underpants, she goes crazy.
Kim Cattrall said she doesn't want to do the Sex and the City movie.
All right, give me the razor, Fezzy. I'm cutting my wrist.
No, don't.
Get me the big knife!
Do not get that big knife.
Get me the big knife!
Calm yourself. She's not going to do
Calm yourself? Where's that from in the movie? Or did you think I really was? I was just doing Moonstruck.
So she's not doing it, so they're scrapping the whole film. There will be no Sex and the City movie.
I don't know what to say, Fez.
Doesn't she owe her co-stars?
Well, I mean, you're not a slave for life. You don't sign up with them forever. She thought the job was done. Okay, I've done as much as I possibly can. Don't you owe the people that you used to work on the car lot with to get together every once in a while and bring some cars back up?
But, the last thing she was doing before Sex and the City was Baby Geniuses. So I don't know why she's getting so uppity here.
She's just saying, I've had enough. I would like to move on. Every time you have a job, you don't have to work there forever. Unless you get hired as a slave.
Let me do a radio psychic here.
Radio psychic.
Grammy, a year from now, will be begging to do this movie because she's out of work.
I think, here's my radio psychic.
Radio psychic.
I don't think there's a huge market for the Sex and the City movie. And if Kim Cattrall can keep you from doing a movie, I don't think you were really on solid ground. Because it's not like Kim Cattrall's known for opening movies.
She didn't stop her from doing Mannequin 2.
Oh, that's before my time. Again, I grew up with the Power Rangers.
The guy who married Britney Spears, Jason Alexander, he's posed with...
I loved him in Seinfeld. He was great.
I think he was a younger one. He's posed with a Britney lookalike for GQ magazine and is saying now that he'd like to act.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's his name?
Jason Alexander.
Too late. You better come up with Jake Alexander, something else. Jason Alexander's not going to work for you.
So I'll probably just go with Spears, Jason Spears.
Why doesn't he do this, the Terry Bradshaw story? You're from Louisiana. How many roles are you going to get with that accent?
This big fool, I don't know if he could possibly have a career, other than maybe some interviews with the Inquirer and the Star.
Yeah, but even now, all that's gone. It's not like it matters anymore. He had his little time a few months ago. It's done now. Everyone's seen the interviews. Everyone knows the story. We don't care.
I think he's doing her a disservice at this point. He went and got married to her for 55 hours, and now he's trying to cash in on it.
He's the Kim Cattrall of marriage, Fez. I don't know what to tell you.
Snoop Dogg is going into the barbecue business.
No, wait.
White people are so scared of black people.
He hopes to have his Snoop to Grills in stores by this fall.
Well, I'd like to order some Rizzles and some Frizzle Chisels.
What I like about Snoop Dogg is he's so completely honest with some of these ventures. Because he won't say, I've always enjoyed good barbecue. Here's a grill.
Yeah.
I'd like to pass on my secrets. He actually admits, I'm home one night, it's the middle of the night, I'm watching George Foreman and thinking, that should be mine. So it's just pure coveting. He sees something and he wants it.
Why don't you just say later, I'm opening up my own oil company because there's an Esso I saw a movie with an old Esso station in it.
It's hysterical that he can't sit there and watch TV in the middle of the night without going nuts that George Foreman is making billions of dollars on these grills.
And I can't understand why George Foreman never got $1 from people putting steaks on an iron. It's a waffle iron. It's not a grill. Why call them a grill? There's nothing grills there. It's a hot plate. Why do we let them get away with the name George Foreman Grill? It should be George Foreman Hot Plate.
And every year it gets a little bit bigger because so does the grill. He'll make this family-size thing that almost looks like a real grill, but it's still the big waffle iron.
Is that for if all the family moves into a college dorm? Why, if you have a stove, why do you want to eat off a hot plate? I don't understand it.
Well, of course, his theory is this drains the fat.
Yeah.
When you squish it. Like a Play-Doh Fun Factory burger.
Yeah, because fat stays in a real grill. No, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense.
Mark Burnett admitted in an interview a lot of what's on reality television is manipulated. But he says even though they do create situations, the emotions are real, and that's what the shows are about.
I don't understand, Fez. He admitted this or just said it like it was common knowledge to anyone who's got a television and maybe a head?
He still thought he was fooling people, I think.
I don't think he thought so at all. I think that he was just talking, and yet people, for some reason, want to hear that a fake television show is real. People from real world used to say years ago, well, no, not all that happened. It's the way it was edited to make us look bad. It's a TV show.
The only time that hasn't stood up is Jerry on Survivor, where she said it was just the editing that makes me look like a mean, nasty person. And then we find out as years go by, no, she's just really a mean, nasty person.
But you're only getting that from other TV shows that you had. We had her on the show. She was very nice to us, and you were very nice to her. And yet, as soon as you see her back on the TV, I hate her.
She is a villainess, and I believe that's part of her true reality.
But when we met her, wasn't she nice?
Yeah, she was nice.
And you were nice to her.
She always starts out nice. If we had stayed on an island with her.
Why didn't you go by reality rather than reality TV? You have had an opportunity that most people don't have. You spent some time with her.
With that one, that was when I was first hearing this is editing. That makes me look mean.
I've heard it forever. I've heard it for as far back as television. Walter Cronkite used to say, it's really just the editing. It's not me so much. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back to wrap this up. Fastest hour in radio. It's Ron and Fez.